The Nephilim, as mentioned in the book of Genesis 6 verses 1 to 4, are the subject of debate regarding their existence and fate after the flood. The biblical account narrates that, during the increase in population on earth, the sons of God joined the daughters of men, giving rise to the Nephilim, beings of great stature and strength. The central question is whether these Nephilim perished in the flood or persisted after this catastrophic event. The passage from Genesis 6 verses 1 to 4 describes the interaction between the sons of God and the daughters of men. The word Nephilim is associated with beings of unusual size, generated by this union. Some scholars interpret the sons of God as fallen angels, suggesting that the Nephilim were a hybrid offspring of angels and humans. The question of the survival of the Nephilim after the flood is a subject of speculation. The traditional explanation suggests that the flood eliminated all Nephilim and, therefore, there would be no continuity of this lineage after the event. However, some interpretations raise the possibility that some Nephilim could have survived the catastrophe. Analysis of passages such as 2 Peter 2 verse 5, which states that all the wicked were exterminated in the flood, is used to support the idea of complete destruction. Understanding the post-flood dilemma of the Nephilim also involves the distinction between the sons of God as fallen angels or human beings. If we consider the sons of God to be angels, the question turns to how they could have returned after the flood, as some reports indicate that misbehaving angels were locked in the abyss. In short, the biblical narrative suggests that the Nephilim existed before the flood, but the question of their survival after that event remains ambiguous. Speculation about the genetic continuity of the Nephilim, whether through Noah's wives or other means, adds complexity to the debate. However, it is important to recognize that the Bible does not provide definitive answers about every detail, and its main purpose is to guide believers on their spiritual journey. Furthermore, some interpretations suggest that the explanation for the apparent post-flood presence of the Nephilim lies in the distinction between the sons of God who married the daughters of men before the flood and those who did so after the event. If the sons of God before the flood were fallen angels, and these angels were confined to the abyss after their transgression, then the explanation for their reappearance after the flood may involve a distinction between different groups of fallen angels. The opposite interpretation suggests that if the sons of God were human beings before the flood, then their prohibition against uniting with the daughters of men can be seen as a divine instruction to prevent the birth of a second generation of Nephilim. This approach implies that after the flood there was a resumption of these unions, leading to the resurgence of the Nephilim, as indicated in Numbers 13:32-33. In addition to the biblical narrative, there are non-canonical sources, such as the Book of Enoch, that provide a more detailed perspective on the Nephilim, their origins, and the divine punishment that resulted in the flood. However, it is essential to highlight that the Book of Enoch is not considered part of the biblical canon by many Judeo-Christian denominations. Ultimately, the mystery surrounding the Nephilim after the flood remains without a conclusive answer in the Bible, and interpretations may vary between scholars and traditions. Regardless of speculation, the emphasis is on understanding that the Bible is a spiritual and moral guide, and its primary purpose is to guide believers on their journey of faith, rather than to provide detailed answers to every speculative question. In conclusion, the issue of the Nephilim and their possible survival after the flood remains shrouded in mystery and diverse interpretations. The biblical narrative offers clues but does not provide a definitive explanation for this enigma. Some interpretations suggest that the distinction between the sons of God before and after the flood may be crucial to understanding the apparent resurgence of the Nephilim. In addition to biblical interpretations, there are non-canonical texts, such as the Book of Enoch, that offer additional perspectives, although these texts are not universally accepted. It is vital to remember that as believers, the main focus should be on the spiritual and moral guidance offered by the Bible, rather than getting lost in debates and speculation about questions that have no clear answers in Scripture. The central message of the Bible is to lead believers to a life of faith, love, and obedience to God, rather than to provide answers to every theological and speculative question. Therefore, it is prudent to direct our energies towards a deeper relationship with the Lord, a life of prayer and the search for understanding the fundamental truths that the Bible reveals to us.